All right, so there's a new poll in the New York City mayoral race, and it shows Andrew Yang with quite a significant lead here. So a lot of candidates in this race. Yang pulls in 28% of the vote. The next highest rated candidate is Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. He is at 17%. Yep. And Scott Stringer, who is the current comptroller, was at 13%. Those are the top three in the race. Everyone else significantly below that. The, candidate of the rich dude doing predictably terribly.
Classic.
Has all the money in the world possible.
You mean the Citibank guy who's backed by Barack Obama's people is doing terribly? Shocker.
So there's a few things in terms of the dynamics of this race. First of all, this will be the first time that they have ranked choice voting, which is a major wild card. Right. This primary is slated to happen in June, and the way that the ranked choice voting works is the lowest candidate, the number 5 candidate, will be eliminated, and then their votes will be redistributed to the other candidates until somebody gets over 50%. So obviously Yang at 28%, significantly ahead of everybody else, but also very far from 50%. So how do those vote reallocations ultimately work out? Very hard to say. The other thing here that people pointed to is that Yang, this is an interesting statement on politics, 84% of likely voters had heard of Andrew Yang. Yes. So they know who he is even more than these longtime New York politicos who are coming in second and third, Adams and Stringer. Adams is known by 60%. Stringer was known by 66%. So on the one hand, that's a good thing. Andrew Yang, already very well known. On the other hand, some analysts were saying maybe that means he's reached his ceiling and Stringer and Adams have more room to grow if voters get to know them. But so that's the state of the race today.
Yeah, look, I think, and that's why I always thought he was going to do really well, because he has very high name ID. That's that's the name of the game. The last person who ran who is as famous as Yang was Anthony Weiner. That didn't work out so well.
He was doing well, though. He was kind of on track to win.
Even with all the problems, he was doing well. If you've never seen that documentary, highly recommend it. Weiner, it was riveting.
Yes.
Anyway, so all of that being said, I think Yang has a very, very good shot here, which is that he has put himself in a position, high name recognition. He's doing national and local media. He has, his restaurant campaign. He really is the first, actual digital candidate. I follow him on Instagram. He's always posting, somewhere within NYC. He's got pretty good, just normie ads. So I think he's going to do really well here. And look, it's borne out. Of course, his first poll, ranked choice voting, total wild card. New York City has its own power brokers, which can swing things. But this might be the first time that an outside social media candidate could actually come in and disrupt all of that just because people know who the hell he is.
It's such a different landscape of politics. Yeah. I mean, New York is a quintessential political machine town. And for him to just come in and right out of the gates be the front runner, I think it's a shocking transformation of the political landscape that represents. And in terms of his campaign, look, I was really disappointed when he put out his op-ed, going after the BDS movement, saying it was anti-Semitic, et cetera. But he's got such a clear message in his mayoral campaign, just like he did in his presidential campaign, focused around UBI, focused on anti-poverty.
Right.
And so I think that's a big part of his populist appeal in the city as well. I mean, the city's been through hell over the past year. That city has been through hell. And so to have someone who's coming in with a really clear program and agenda and priorities about how they're going to get people back on their feet, I think is really significant. Unsurprisingly, this poll dug into what the top issues are. Vaccine distribution is one of them. Jobs. Okay, so the obvious things, that's what some 30% of poll respondents identified vaccine distribution and preventing the spread of COVID as their top issue in the race. The economy, job creation followed at 19%, and 16%, this is significant, said crime and safety was most important to them. But so you can see how Yang, he's able to say, hey, I'm a private sector guy, so I can make things work effectively. And then he's also has this anti-poverty message that, will land and be effective in terms of the economy and job creation. So I do think he's pretty well positioned. Like I said, the ranked choice voting thing is the real wild card. What does that ultimately translate to? You want to see people's second and third choices to get a little bit of a sense of that. But certainly this is a good indication for him.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think he's going to do well.
Coming up, I'm going to discuss marijuana legalization with cannabis entrepreneur, the co-founder of Cornbread Hemp, Jim Higdon, when Rising returns.